we are not live because that's going to be
Clap.
yeah. So this is a BJJ journey, and my idea is to bring people that where jiu-jitsu helped them to change their life or to improve their life in some aspect, because I think it's important to share that. So I started with the most easy person I could, because this is the first one. I mean, I don't, it's all new for me. So I started with my wife, Sabrina Melendez. And so if you want to talk about a little bit about you and tell us
About me?
Yeah.
Well, my name's Sabrina. I am Ricardo's wife. And I'm a jeweler by trade. And I'm also a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And it's funny because I started jewelry and Jiu-Jitsu at exactly the same time. So it's been 13 years now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them when I was 24.
It was Sambo that you started.
Martial arts, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. I started martial arts at 24. And both jiu-jitsu and jewelry have been sort of intertwined this entire time. So yeah, that's about me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a list of questions.
Okay.
I think you already answered the first one. Is what were you doing before Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, before Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was doing a lot of sports. I was a competitive swimmer when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for many years because I was living in the Caribbean, so we had swim teams, and that was my thing. And then I transitioned into running. So I was training to run for the New York Marathon. I did try to get into triathlons during university, but they told me I had a heart murmur, which people tell me I have and then they don't. It's very strange. I have no idea if I have one or not. And then I was doing breakdancing. I think I was living in Switzerland at the time, and I was doing breakdancing.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, on a side note, I always wanted to do martial arts since I was a kid. But it wasn't really something for girls, and I think that, my family was like, this is not for girls. Girls don't do that kind of thing. And I didn't know about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I looked into boxing, and it was very expensive. I did do some Yosukan Budo, but then I moved. And then when I was living in New York, I was supposed to do the New York Marathon. And one day when I was supposed to go training, and I kept going running at the same time every day at like between 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was supposed to go running and I really didn't feel like it. So I contacted my mom and I was like, Mom, should I go run? And she's usually always like, yeah, do it, you'll feel better. But this time she was like, you know what, just stay home, just relax. So I actually did. I stayed home and I relaxed. And at that time, on my regular trail, there's this girl, Sarah Fox, who got murdered. She got raped and murdered on the trail that I took every day. It was actually I don't think she went very often. I don't know. Anyway, after that, I decided that I was going to learn how to defend myself. And it did take me a few months, almost a year, because I moved. I went to Switzerland. Anyway, so I was doing breakdancing, and I was like, okay, I have to learn how to defend myself. So I asked this friend who was a dancer, what should I do? And he was like, you should try this Russian combat sport, Sambo. So that's how I started martial arts. Mm-hmm. And then I did that for 3 years, and then you and we both moved to Toronto.
Yeah, we met doing Sambo.
Yeah, we met doing Sambo, and then, there was no Sambo in Toronto, so I found Toronto BJJ, and I was like, okay, let's just go and try it out, and that's how we started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But we always loved Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, though.
Yeah, I started to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in...
you did it before. I did a competition, too.
Yeah, I did competition, but you know what? It's because of you that I restarted to do martial art, because when you tell me, let's do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, we're going to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was like, I'm going to stay home and do nothing. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and since then, yeah.
Yeah, because you had a bit of a burnout. So
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, that brought you out of the burnout, and then I kept going ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been training at the same gym the entire time.
Yeah.
It's been, 9 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Toronto BJJ.
Yeah.
And that's where I stopped it for 2 years.
Yeah.
And after I came back and got finally my black belt. So you already answered a lot of my question.
Mm-hmm.
So, how Jiu-Jitsu changed your life? If it changed your life.
Yeah, that's a long question. there's so many things it's done really. Well, when I was just not 18, I was diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder. And that has made, my life complicated, obviously, but I haven't been taking any medication for about 9 years. And that's in part because of jiu-jitsu, for sure. So it's helped a lot with the depression. Why has it helped? It's helped because just being physically active. It's jiu-jitsu for me. I find it very interesting, and I need something interesting and engaging. And you're constantly learning, and it's difficult, and it's a long game, and I love that. So it just really engages my curiosity, because I would say I get bored of things pretty quickly, and you can't get bored with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There's always something new to learn, right? And then the diet. If I didn't do jiu-jitsu, I would probably have patterns of getting depressed again. So it's really important for me to do that. So it's changed my life that way. Also, when I was a teen, I suffered from bulimia. Also, I guess in combination with the bipolar 2, and having to weigh myself to go to competitions and know what I weigh and be in a certain weight class and sort of just openly talk about my weight. It probably wouldn't work for someone else who suffers from it, but for me, for some reason, like really confronting it,
Mommy.
Yeah, it helped me a lot.
Mommy.
I don't know why.
Mommy, Dora.
Okay, yeah, I just have to put.
So, to answer the question, we have a daughter with us, so
She tends to interrupt.
tends to interrupt the interview, so continue.
Well, like I said before, like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the jewelry, I started at the same time. And jewelry making was actually very challenging, so I went to do an apprenticeship in Switzerland with the master jewelers that lasted 4 years. So I wasn't doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at that time, but I was doing martial arts. Both of them are so similar. You have to be just really patient. You definitely have to keep your ego in check. You're using your capacity of like spatial understanding in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and in jewelry. So this whole time, it's just really been helping me with my career, and at the same time, my career has also been helping my Jiu-Jitsu. So
Because of this ability to see, to imagine in 3D vision.
yeah, sort of the positioning that you would do in Jiu-Jitsu, but it's also that way in jewelry. Also patience. Oh my goodness, like you have to be really patient with Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, I
Right?
find that you are. I mean, I roll and I follow you a lot because you are my wife, and I find that you are very organic way to do jiu-jitsu. Like you, so like today we did a class, or I show you a technique, and you ended up doing a totally different technique, but ending up in the same position that I want at the end. And it was very interesting to see that how organic you are able to to make jiu-jitsu what I'm totally not able to do it.
Yeah, but that's where you and I differ, and we've had this conversation many times before. Ricardo, you look at things like, okay, I have to move my arm this way, do that, do this, this is next, it's like a sequence. Whereas me, I'm like, okay, what do I need? I need to end up in this position. What do I have? I look at it more globally.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you need a step by step. I don't need a step by step.
But it's funny because when my best jiu-jitsu is when I become organic. But I can rarely reach that point.
Uh-huh.
Like I can feel it sometimes, like in the flow, and everything is organic, and I don't even know what happened, and I just do jiu-jitsu. But for me, it's difficult to be all the time in that mental state. Sometimes I get taken by my emotion, or sometimes I got other emotion states. So for me, when I'm not like in this super instinct situation, I need to be able to go back to the technique, okay, I have to do this. And it's always in between. I'm not always only focused on the technique, but I'm rarely just fighting organic. And you always feel like you're fighting organic, like you do jiu-jitsu without even realizing that you're doing jiu-jitsu. And it's what always amazes me when you do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, well, I guess I think of it more as key concepts. Like, this is how I know that in order to do a lock, I need 2 joints. So I don't care how I get there. I just need to somehow get those 2 joints, right? Whereas you are probably like, okay, I have to take the arm, put it in between my legs, and then move my knee. I'm just like, who cares? I'm just taking it, somehow get those 2 joints in there, and keep going, right? Anyways, so that's it.
So let's go for the next question. So, okay, what jiu-jitsu teach you? But I think you already answered about that.
Just to go back on that, I think the biggest thing that jiu-jitsu has taught me is patience. You have to be patient, otherwise you're not gonna last. And then also how to handle your stress. It's helped a lot, especially when you're competing. You have to know how to act in a stressful situation, and you confront. I don't think a lot of people are in they don't put themselves in that situation, but being in that situation really makes you like confront your own fears and insecurities. And if you can keep them at bay and control them, then you can do amazing things.
And it was difficult for you to do that at the beginning, because I remember that something very funny about you that I find funny is that when you were a white blue belt, you were not winning a lot of competition. And at the end of purple and beginning of brown,
in jiu-jitsu,
you started to beat everybody, and like I think for 6 months you were ranked number 1 on IBJJF, if I remember correct. 6 months or something like that, but you were ranked number 1 in brown belt in IBJJF.
2015.
Yes, but it totally surprised. What for me, I remember you were. For me, my feeling is that you were losing tournament, and one day you called me and said, "Oh, I won the pants in my division in absolute," and I was like, "What?" And after that, you started to like for 6 months just destroying everybody in tournament. So yeah,
I think it has to do with, of course, when you're losing, it sucks. But it's so mental. Like, I think that competition is 50% your physical, and I would say a whole other 50% mental.
Yeah.
So I was mentally preparing myself. I was in that zone.
And was that the most difficult for you, competition in jiu-jitsu, or it was something else?
The most difficult thing in jiu-jitsu? No, I would say sometimes I just don't feel like going. I'm not like you. You do this every day and you never get bored. I get bored of everything super easily.
Yeah, I get if I train a lot, the reason I started to teach is because if I only train, I get depressed because I always feel that it's not enough. The mentality of the competitor is I have to be the best. And this mentality of, and actually you helped me to go back to jiu-jitsu, is why I stopped for 2 years. Because I always feel that whatever I was doing, it was not enough. I was not good enough. I had to be better enough. And I remember sometime you come to the class and you said, oh yeah, today I was not feeling okay, and I just let people submit me, and I was like, are you crazy? And but you started to tell me that over and over again. So after a little bit, I was like, you know what? I should be like that. I should just go and train, because when I don't train, I feel like a loser, and when I train, I feel that it's not enough. So and that's helped me. And now is because you indirectly educate my brain to be more relaxed. To be now, sometimes I go and I train and I get maybe beat up by 3 guys, and I'm like, oh, I don't care. I did my best. Sometimes I even find that I did a good job even if I get beat up, because I was like, I did a good job. The guy did just better job than me. So that's it. I did what I could. It was not a good day, or it was maybe a good day, but I still got beat up. Who cares?
Well, especially now that we're getting older.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, if we don't want people to beat us up, we're never gonna keep training. Because it's just gonna keep happening more and more, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Thank you for the reminding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was your highest moment of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I think my highest moment was, well, 2, when I won the double golds at Pans, and then the double gold at the Brasileiro. But I think Pans, I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Wow, that was pretty crazy. That was a crazy day. I was really happy. And then when I got my black belt, that was a whole 8-year journey. That was a great day.
Yeah, but I think that I don't know, having the black belt is very exciting when to think about it when you are blue, purple. But when you are brown, it's more or less something that's gonna come up. I'm gonna be, you have the feeling that I'm such not ready to be a black belt. There's so many people that can destroy me, and I have no good,
you had that feeling, but no, I was very happy when I was happy when I got my black belt.
I was happy for my business because I own the dojo, but I was happy, but at the same time I was like, there's so many people that can kill me so easily, and I'm so bad at that. And I was like, when they give me my black belt, I was like, okay, thank you. Now I'm gonna try to do my best to, keep the responsibility to be a black belt and to be as best as I can. But yeah, I don't know. That was my feeling. But for you, it was a very good moment.
Yeah, it was a great moment. Yeah.
So, what is so now Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, what is the what place Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has now?
I would say it's funny because I think I had a competition not too long ago, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I think, was my last one. It was this charity event. And after that, I didn't even want to do that one because I was like, I'm taking the whole year off. I'm going to focus on my business. But, you convinced me to do 2 more competitions, so I did them. And it was fun. But now, for the next year or 2, I'm just going to focus on my business because I have to.
Until I convince you to do another
Until
thing.
you convince me to do another one. But I know I will go back and compete. It's just I need to do other, focus on my...
Totally get it.
Because it is for me, jiu-jitsu is this distraction.
Yeah.
But a healthy distraction. Right?
No, I totally understand. Yeah.
So,
and the last question is the future. How you see your jiu-jitsu in the future? What you have intention to do with jiu-jitsu? Or are you gonna just be healthy and have fun and?
Well, I'm gonna do it to be healthy and have fun and be part of the community, and I'm hoping that our daughter, is gonna love doing jiu-jitsu and we can do it with her.
For now she likes to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it's not gonna be her thing. I don't know. Who knows? I definitely see myself competing again at Masters, Worlds, but in the future. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I will be very happy if we can go together to the Worlds and compete again. Because I think it's important to always have training is one thing, but I think a lack of reality check. When you go compete, you have a reality check. You are like, this is what you have, this is how far you're gonna go, and you're gonna get beat or you're gonna beat, but this is where you are. When you train in the dojo, you training, you know, people, sometimes people are tired too, so you beat someone that you never beat, but it doesn't mean that you are better than him. It just means that maybe today is tired, or you got injury, or you got the bad news. Instead of when you go for competition, it's like there's a day, an hours, and you have no excuse. You have to go for that.
Yeah, no matter how you feel.
Yeah. So yeah, and about our daughter, for now she likes jiu-jitsu, but I hope she's gonna continue to love jiu-jitsu. But I see jiu-jitsu for my daughter more as like going to school. Is a body education. You know, that's it. If you like it, you're gonna do more. If you don't like it, there's always, until you reach 18, there's gonna be a minimum of jiu-jitsu that I'm gonna, I think, impose.
Until 18? Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long
18,
time.
you think is long? Okay,
Yeah.
so let's say until 16.
And that's still long. We'll
Still
see.
long.
We'll see what
But
she likes.
but imagine, I don't want her to not be not doing sport.
No, she has to do
If,
sport.
if she tell me, Daddy, I want to do a classic dance professionally and I need to stop jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
I will be like, great, we
Yeah.
stop jiu-jitsu and you just do dance, I'm fine. But I don't want it to be like, oh, I don't not need to do any sport.
No, she has to do something for sure.
Like, she needs to do something. So the something, if she doesn't find something that she wants to do, something that she has to do will be jiu-jitsu. If she wants to do something else, she will do something else. What do you think about it?
I think that's a good plan.
Yes. So that's it. We
Yeah.
are done.
Any other questions? That's it?
Do you want to add something?
No. I mean, I love jujitsu. You know, I think everybody should do it. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, you can always ask us.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
And yeah, we are done. That's the first one, so I don't know how to finish that. Cut!